Rahul. Yeah. Rahul is here. I invite Rahul from Hands, and he has given an interesting fact to me and my research. So, Rahul, we can start with presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I know that title finds bit of a puzzle for people.
No,
For
no, it's not Rahul.
I think it's 15 rows. Right. So me and my research, the title is coming from a famous talk given by Richard Hamming in 1986. So that was titled "You and Your Research." So Hamming gave this lecture to a bunch of stalwarts of its 19th Nobel laureates and all, and he focused mainly about you and your research. So there are many constraints in PhD which are out of my bounds. There are so many say COVID things nobody expected. So there are many things out of my purview. People many times complain funding is not there. I missed out my chance by 0.25 mark. The man could have added one more seat. All these things. But Hamming specifically spoke about what you as an individual can contribute or improve your research. And by research, he always felt he is talking about great research. And he had this habit of joining lunch conversation and he will ask, okay, what are the three major problems in your research area? After a week, he will ask you, okay, what are you working on? Is it an important area? After one more week, he will ask, why are you not working in that area? It's not important. And from the fourth lunch onwards, he was not invited for the lunch. So, that's the allude from the title. So I'm a third year PhD student in the Department of Neurophysiology under Center for Consciousness Studies. And today I thought I will share my piece of journey where I came from a totally alien wing. So yeah. So I'm an engineer by training. I did my bachelor's in electronics. Then I did my master's in medical electronics. So that was a time I was thinking, okay, what next? So during that time, I was very interested in teaching. My both parents are teachers, and I'm coming from an entire family of teachers. So I thought, okay. So when I was doing my master's, I was with my friends. I was co-running an NGO aimed at teaching unprivileged poor kids for free. So that was doing great. Then I was working as a part-time school teacher, mainly at my mother's school. So I had EC access and all. So that went on well. It gave me some purpose in my life. So then after my master's, okay, I got a campus placement and I joined here in Bangalore, next street, Accenture. So I could see Nimans every time I was going home. And I was working as an associate software engineer in a totally different domain where I was trying to figure out how large companies, for example, I was working in a project by Pfizer, the largest medical company. So from the Pfizer's manufacturing factory, how is the medicine reaching to the person? So entire to entire, it is managed by many software, and I was working in one of them. So every time when I used to pass Nimans, I used to think, okay, I mean, long term, I wanted to be in teaching and research. How can I do my best? So one issue was since I was from engineering and my branch was not supported in any of the lists, eligibility list in Nimans and BRC, NCBS or anything. So I think I had at least sent 40 applications. It didn't work out. So I decided, okay, this is not going the way I'm planning to do. So I thought, okay, I'll resign my job and maybe I'll do an MPhil. So MPhil Neurosciences was the only course at Nimans where an electronics engineer could apply. So I applied for that, and something funny happened in I think March 2014. I was waiting outside the examination hall, and one old professor from Nimans, I don't remember her, but I have seen in the neurology, she came out and told all of us that server crashed and Nimans exam won't be happening. I was shell shocked because I already put up my paper for resignation and I was preparing for this exam, and now I don't know when exam will happen. Should I cancel my resignation? I was confused. And I thought, okay, I have one more month to prepare. Let me do that. So I did that, and luckily I managed to get in. So I scored fourth in Impel Neuroscience, and there were only four seats. So that's a point where I started my neuroscience journey, and so that's where I changed from my field or my career to neuroscience, and that was a huge jump. So I'm currently pursuing my third year of my PhD at Center for Consciousness Studies. And before me joining, I had looked through. all the available information about NIMHANS, specifically Department of Neurophysiology, where I liked the kind of work, and kind of Dr. Bindu's lab was the one where there was another engineer, Dr. Ajay. So he was doing his PhD at that time. So and I went through the lab pages and all. So I felt okay, yeah, this work is doing good. And my only target in so MPhil second year is when we are supposed to take up a dissertation. So my goal was to clear MPhil first year in very good marks, so that when I go and approach Dr. Bindu, she will not see me. And luckily, during my MPhil in the first year, every month we are posted in this department, and you have to present a seminar. So when I was posted in Department of Neurophysiology, I purposely selected the topic as C because I know that Dr. Bindu was working in this area. So I wanted to have a good impression on that. So things went well from my second year of my MPhil dissertation onwards. I'm in the still lab. I'm in the same lab. Currently, it is Center for Consciousness Studies, and Dr. Bindu is my main guide from right from my MPhil and then projects and from my PhD. So that was briefly about okay how I got there, and then the broad question of why PhD. So I don't have a complicated answer. So this is from my perspective why I wanted to do a PhD. So I like teaching most, and I found so after my MTech for a brief period of 1 month I worked as a assistant professor in one of the engineering programs. So that's when I realized that okay, academics is one thing, but unless you have a solid skeleton of research as your with your backbone, you can't do good academics. So then I thought, okay, I need a PhD so that I can combine academia and research so that I will become a good teacher. So these two skills will complement each other. And then obviously I was interested in the field. So then PhD provides an opportunity to get trained in the areas which we do not know and pick up skills, soft skills. There are many other skills, not about you and your buncher. So whenever you organize a conference and you interact with your peers, there are so many skills which we pick up, and which will help us to do some impactful work. So then I was inspired by the properties of individual scientists, their abilities, whenever people go on the stage and tell that they talk. And I found it very humbling. You can always feel that when researchers or scientists present their talk, they will tell, okay, in this area, these are things, but it's still not the case. So initially I was finding it, even a professor with PhD and 20 years of experience is telling maybe and all. So that's very humbling. It felt very humbling in my opinion. So I like those traits. So then I wanted to have a litmus test whether I am capable or will I sustain my interest as a life choice. So that's why I did an MPhil so that I was sure that okay, yeah, when I'm set for this journey. So 2 years of MPhil. So then that's about the me part. So me and my research. Now I'll just briefly get through a infographic journey of my research. So my thesis topic is titled Neural Oscillatory Dynamics and Cognition, Neurophysiology Study. So I'm currently focusing on a topic of cognitive processing called working memory. So working memory is something we hold in our mind when we are doing any computation. Suppose we are remembering a long phone number or something. And then there are many oscillations which are associated with this. So I have designed a small game-like task, and whenever people are playing this task, I'll be acquiring it easily and trying to understand, okay, what oscillatory patterns do we see and what we can understand from that. Then, having understood that, I will be applying a small amount of current on the scalp targeted at cognitive enhancement. So, why this is important? Because in certain aberrant neural oscillatory disorders like schizophrenia, they have schizophrenia patients have working memory impairments, and typically these cognitive symptoms they do not resolve upon pharmacological treatment. So, there is a huge interest in non-pharmacological treatment aimed at understanding or resolving these oscillatory abnormalities. And one more thing, disorders of perception like schizophrenia offers unique windows to study about consciousness. So they perceive the world in a totally different way. So that's about my research. So what's next is, so this field has opened up pretty much, and I'm lucky to have a mentor who supports these ideas, and there are opportunities to scale up to chase puzzles in the field of consciousness. Obviously, that's next. And then I'm heavily interested in contributing to open science because replicability is a major issue. Same experiment I'm doing, if next person is doing, what is the guarantee that that person will also get the future? So code sharing, detailing the method we have used, all these things I'm heavily interested. And then explore high risk, high gain side projects. So currently, I think PhD it might be a gamble to do high risk project, but obviously once I'm done this phase, I would like to do some projects which are high risk, which may not promise any results. Then learn and teach actively. So to chase these goals, either a postdoc or any side projects outside neuroscience, I'm not committed to you do this, you do that. No, as long as I'm satisfied with the above four things, I'm fine. So that I decided when I left my job also. So final part is appeal to government. So first part is quality control measures and research. So Dr. Lakshmi in her inaugural talk, she mentioned about there is a large increase in the number of PhDs, but again, when you go for numbers, the quality comes down. So that's a huge concern. Second is about predatory journals. Recently, this has been on much popular terms, and even recently, Nobel laureate was also accused of publishing some hot pots results and all. Then the whole basis of publish or perish principle, where a person is solely evaluated or majorly evaluated based on this stamp collection of high impact journals and all, and there is huge bias when we publish from India. So that's it. And I would like to conclude with this quote from Aaron Schwartz: be curious, read widely, try new things. What people call intelligence just boils down to curiosity. Final word is, I don't know if you're aware of this, Aaron Schwartz is a huge internet activist and he was made to commit suicide by JSTOR publication group just for downloading more than 10,000 articles from the internet. So I would leave it there. Thank you.
What is your appeal to the government with regards to predatory journals?
I think currently abroad and all there is a list called Bill's list, and provided they can give a warning because many people might not be aware. So whoever has published on the government otherwise they can give a warning if this happens. And so that and even government has a list of these lists, people should not publish so that people will be aware. So I think if the regulations from the government should be.
There is a question from Padlock. From
Sadhana.
any advice for sustaining the journey?
Yeah, I'm glad to see a question from Sarda ma'am because when I was in Department of Neurochemistry, and I told I'm from electronics background, Sarda ma'am and Bharat sir, every day they used to ask, are you understanding, are you finding it difficult? Thanks, ma'am. So I don't know, I'm at a place where I can advise, but one thing I found in sustaining the journey is, even though, I mean, from my mentors and guides, I get this compliment that I present nicely, but I have my own share of anxieties and also just that's common, all this imposter syndrome and all. But I think just stick on to what you have. Sometimes things might not work well. But I think once you have made a decision at that point of your neighbor, stick on to that. One point of later, 1 day, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, whatever happens will come. So I think maintaining a good, peaceful mind will sail through us.
So one thing is evident that Ram is a good teacher. It can be
Thank you.
interesting.
Yeah, I had that. I should say, when I joined NIMHANS, I had support from each and every faculty. I was in 12 departments at NIMHANS, and like many faculty, they used to ask on a daily basis, Rahul, are you understanding? Are you following? If you don't understand what is Clathrin doing to neurophysicals, please tell us. So I told them Clathrin also I don't know. Then they Sadhana used to teach us in board and all. So thanks a lot. I owe a lot to such teachers to support and backing. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul, for a very interesting talk. And I'm sure that many students will be inspired by your talk. And I can assure you, you are going to be a very good teacher.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best.